To harness the power of your communications data, blast off with Nylas today.
Hello, Ram. How are you?
Hey, Blag, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Just a lot of snow here in Canada.
Yeah, it's getting a little cold, but I'm excited for today's topic. So let's jump in. What are we going to talk about today?
So we're going to talk about Fig workflow and the Nylas CLI. So let me share my screens for people who doesn't know what Fig is.
Yeah, let's talk about Fig for a bit. I'm excited to kind of take a look at what you have to demo today.
Sure. So Fig is pretty much something that you can put on your terminal to make it better. So it has autocomplete. So for example, and I need to use a Nylas CLI example here. Let's say, for example, I say Nylas, and then I need to remember all the commands. But if I press spacebar, I have here everything that I need. So I can say Nylas, then choose API, and I can say, okay, I want calendars. I want to get them, and I can even say limited to 2. So I don't need to remember the whole set of parameters because Fig is going to help me with auto-completion.
Gotcha.
So I can complete, I'm going to get the information.
So that's really cool. And this is for any CLI that's been integrated with Fig. You're able to access all the type ahead functionality. So if it's the Stripe CLI, the Nylas CLI, even GitHub, you can access all the CLI functionality up front.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
And you can even build your own, which is even more awesome.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, if you like develop like a script application, you can actually create your own set of rules for Fig to run on your local machine.
Okay, cool.
So what we want to talk about here is about Fig workflow, which is kind of a way to do things in an even easier way. So, for example, most CLI users tend to use Nylas for webhooks. So we know that we need to say Nylas, webhook, panel, then the F, and then we need to say HTTP 1001, and then we need to specify the port, which might be 4567, for example, for Ruby. And that's going to start checking for any upcoming webhook, and it's going to send it to our Ruby server running on our local machine. But that sometimes is hard to remember, like all the webhook channel, etc. And what if you're not using Ruby, but you're using Python, or you're using Node, or you're using Java, or anything else? So that's when Fig workflow came to help. So I can simply say Fig run, and it's going to get me a list of all the workflows that I have created. So for example, I can go to webhooks. It's going to ask me for the server. I can write here Ruby, or let's say PHP. And it's instantly going to grab everything for me. It's going to grab the right port, and it's going to start waiting for incoming webhooks. So I don't need to type anything.
So with the workflow, you get a nice UI. So if you want to show that again, just so we can take a look. So here, when you go through and run a specific workflow, so here you can list out the different workflows. And the one we were looking at was webhooks. And when you go to webhooks, you can go in and just input all the necessary information that you need to pass into the Nylas CLI. So in the background, this is running the Nylas CLI, and it has the full command, but it's taking whatever inputs you provide and using it.
Yes, exactly. So here, as I said, we can input the server, like we can say PHP, Ruby, Java, whatever, or we can simply say none because we don't have any server. So if we run it, it's just gonna run, okay, and didn't work for some reason. Probably was none like this, or default, probably put default. We're gonna check how to build it anyway. So if we go to Fig and go to workflows, we can go to webhooks, and here we can see it was none with all lowercase.
Lowercase, yeah. So it's
so you can see in the end or in the background, this is just a batch script. So whatever we can do in batch, we can do it here. So here we're just saying case, which is kind of like a switch, port. If we input PHP, then we're calling this passing 8000 as a port. If we say Ruby, it's gonna be 4567. If we say Python, it's gonna be 5000. If it's none, it's just gonna run the regular webhook tunnel. And that way, we actually don't need to remember anything. So we can do, for example, the same for, let's say, if we want to read our contacts. So we can input here, Nylas API contacts get. We can specify the source we want the address book. And we can say the limit is going to be a parameter. So when we run this, so we go fig run, and we choose read contacts, we can say that we want to read the first 3 contacts, for example. So it's going to execute everything for us.
Yeah, this is awesome. I really like how you can use Fig to create the workflows. So we're kind of building on top of Nylas, but as well we're creating shortcuts. So if you want to go ahead and use a workflow, pass in certain data, and not have to kind of remember the script each time, you can use the Fig workflow.
Mm-hmm. And of course, for example, it's not just limited to one line. Obviously, for example, we can use it to cd into a particular folder and then execute the script that it's inside that folder. Or we can have like multiple lines, so we can do a lot of things. And this is like a workflow, right? So do this, then do that. But it's just a way of making things easier for us. Because let's say, for example, yeah, we can run or we can write a couple of scripts using Perl or something like that. But then we might need to go into that folder. We might need to remember the name. With Fig, we have all the names available. And
yeah,
that's
this is
easier to remember and to run.
Yeah, I like the UI, and I think what's also powerful here is we didn't touch on. I was setting up Fig earlier, and what you can do is you can also share these workflows amongst your team.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go here. So if we go to workflows, so we can preview them, we can delete them, we can run them, and yeah, we can create an alias, and we can actually share it as well. So it's pretty cool. If you have a team, you just can share your workflows. So what is very nice about this is that here you can have multiple inputs. So you can have like a text box, which I do for the limit. You can have a checkbox, you can have a selector, you can have a file picker. So there's a lot of things you can do to make your workflow the way you want it to be.
Yeah, I see how this is really powerful, especially for onboarding developers. If you're just grabbing the code base from like a repo or like GitHub, and you can use Fig workflows to kind of get started and just run through all the different steps, all the onboarding steps. We've recently brought on a docs team member, and as well, this would be useful for them to kind of run through all the different steps to get the docs running locally on their machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I really like it. And you can use it for things that probably are not that much interesting. But for example, this is one that I like a lot. So this is for the weather. I can say, for example, if I pass just the space, it's going to give it my default. Or if I want a particular city, let's say Lima, because I'm from Peru, I want to see the weather in Peru. And it's going to be printed like
You want to see all the sunshine in your terminal? This is awesome.
Yeah, the cool thing is that I don't need to remember because the path is actually like HTTP WTTR in and then the location. I'm never gonna remember that. So just running weather workflow and just passing a city or passing a space, it's perfect for me.
Yeah, it's great that you can bring in all this functionality into your terminal. And as a developer, I think we're just more used to typing and working within like a VS Code or a terminal. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I really like it. I mean, it's very powerful. WTTR in and then the location. I'm never gonna remember that. So just running whether. Sorry, nothing went crazy here.
Blag, was there anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, let me see. Let me share my screen. And here. Bring this up. And let me open. And where did Fig go? Oh, here it is. But yeah, so you can have multiple workflows. So you can create as many as you want. And of course, they are improving. And obviously, there's a blog post coming with all the instructions that you need to create this one, for example, or create a couple of others, so you know, or you're going to learn how to actually use Fig Workflow, which is pretty awesome. And also Fig comes with a lot of plugins. So if you can see in my terminal, it's kind of like colorful. So that's because I'm using one of these to actually make it look like that. So there's a lot of this one. I think it's things that's highlighting, and this one colorize. So there's a lot of things that you can install. They have like a plugin store.
That's
so
awesome. That's
a lot
cool.
of new tools. Yeah. And also, for example, if you install the Nylas CLI, the only thing you need to do to have auto completion is just install Fig. You don't need to do anything else. Once you have them both, auto completion is going to work out of the box.
Yeah, that's really powerful, especially to get started with using Nylas. Feel free also to check out our developer.nylas.com. So that's where you can learn more about all the different API calls, how to connect with communication data for your users, and as well to set up Nylas to get an account and get started.
And then, by the way, Fig.io is a page where you can download Fig. Just install it on the terminal. And if you go to nylas.com blog, you're going to find all of our blog posts. And we also are on GitHub, Nylas samples, where you can find almost all the source code for the blog post and the live streams that we do.
Yeah, we're pretty much everywhere out there. So feel free to jump on GitHub, our blog, and as well YouTube. We love if you can subscribe, like, or even comment. We want to see what topics you want us to cover, what things you're interested in when it comes to Nylas, all things Nylas, and as well the developer world out there. This is awesome,
We
Blag.
would love to hear from you. So just don't be shy and join us.
Yeah, thanks again for doing this, Blag. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you, Ram. Have a nice day. Take care.
See you.